Belling the Cat by Aesop. The mice once called a meeting to decide on a plan to free themselves of their enemy, the cat. At least they wished to find some way of knowing when she was coming, so they might have time to run away. Indeed, something had to be done, for they lived in such constant fear of her claws that they hardly dared stir from their dens by night or day. Many plans were discussed, but none of them was thought good enough. At last a very young mouse got up and said, "I have a plan that seems very simple, but I know it will be successful. All we have to do is to hang a bell about the cat's neck. When we hear the bell ringing, we will know immediately that our enemy is coming." All the mice were much surprised that they had not thought of such a plan before. But in the midst of the rejoicing over their good fortune, an old mouse arose and said, "I will say that the plan of the young mouse is very good. But let me ask one question: who will bell the cat?" The moral of the story is that it is easier to propose a solution to a problem than to actually implement it. The story illustrates the importance of taking action and the difference between talking about a solution and actually carrying it out. In the story, the mice were living in constant fear of the cat and needed a way to know when the cat was approaching so that they could run away. Many plans were discussed, but none of them were deemed practical or effective. It was only the young mouse who suggested hanging a bell around the cat's neck, which would alert the mice to the cat's presence. However, the old mouse quickly pointed out that the most important question was, who will bell the cat? This question highlights the crux of the problem. It is easy to propose a solution, but it is much harder to put that solution into action. The mice were excited about the young mouse's plan, but they quickly realized that none of them were brave enough to actually bell the cat. The story teaches us that it is not enough to have a good idea. We must also be willing to take the necessary steps to make it a reality. In our lives, we often encounter problems that require solutions. It is easy to talk about what should be done, but it is much harder to take action and actually do it. The story reminds us that we must be brave and take risks if we want to solve our problems. We must be willing to step out of our comfort zones and do what needs to be done, even if it is difficult or dangerous. In conclusion, the moral of the story, Belling the Cat, is that proposing a solution is easy, but implementing it is much harder. The story encourages us to take action, be brave, and not just talk about solutions to problems, but also to put them into action. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please support my channel by hitting the subscribe button.